Arvid Lindblad may have faced more opposition than expected, and yet he finds himself leading the Formula Regional Oceania Championship for the time being. Hello and welcome fellow motorsports fans. We are finally back with the first bit of feeder series action of 2025 over in New Zealand, a surprising British victory in Formula E, and the first glimpses of karting in the new year, so let's not waste any more time. Feeder series racing is back with the opener of the Formula Regional Oceania Championship, where a very relaxed looking Arvid Lindblad cruised his way to the championship lead, albeit not as dominant as we may have expected. The feature race on Sunday turned out to be the Arvid show we all anticipated. However, he faced tough competition in the other two races, not just from Will Brown and Nikita Johnson, who both started strong on Saturday but couldn't quite replicate that form on Sunday. Matthias Zagazater also hit the ground running, putting Peru on the top step in the reverse grid race with a fantastic getaway. For my money though, two other drivers stole the show a little bit. First off, Zack Scoular. I had hoped for a surprise performance similar to the F4 UAE last year, but I did not expect such a dominant, controlled win from pole in his debut race. What a fantastic way to start the year. It wasn't a one-off either, this is crucial. He also made it to the podium in the Sunday feature race. Zack has surely put himself in the mix for the team lead discussion at MTech like this. Meanwhile, Josh Pearson was decent, but honestly, given what Scoular was doing, decent is not really cutting it in my opinion. Second, Patrick Huizenroder, the other MTech standout, also impressed big time. While the Aussie didn't secure the big results he may have hoped for, he was the most consistent driver when it came to moving up the grid in tricky situations. He repeatedly scored solid points despite less than ideal circumstances. As a rookie, his performance shows promise. If he and Scoular keep improving, we're in for some exciting battles this season. Quick shout out for a personal pet peeve at the end. The series introduced some new fancy broadcast graphics this year, which look so much more polished and professional than in previous years. This may have not been their main objective, but in my opinion it reflects the growing prestige of the series also well. On the other side of the world, the second Formula E round seemed set for a Porsche 1-2 finish until Nissan star Oliver Rowland flipped the script with a perfect safety car restart. Porsche's powertrain superiority was evident throughout the race anyway. Both Porsche and the Andretti pair were front-running all day, even though Nico Müller slipped slightly in the latter stages. Rowland's victory is even more impressive because it came on a day where he wasn't supposed to win, a hallmark of a strong championship contender. And we all know Rowland has that in him after last year anyway. Jaguar, on the other hand, had a nightmare weekend. Nick Cassidy was stuck at the back for no apparent reason, while Mitch Evans had a decent upper midfield run before crashing late in the race. Overall, it was a weekend to forget for the usually super competitive squad. Instead, Diaz Penske more or less took over Jaguar's usual slot in the top 10, with both Van Dorn and Günther putting in really solid point-scoring drives. Now, what would a feeder series discussion be without a quick rookie watch? Unfortunately, it wasn't the best day for any of our rookies, but there were bright spots for all three of them. Zane Maloney had a fantastic qualifying session, outpacing experienced Lucas di Grassi, but faded during the race. David Bachmann looked solid until a crash ended his race on the outskirts of the points. Only Taylor Barnard brought home a point, managing a solid, patient drive from the back, though also not his best performance of all time by any stretch of the imagination either. Now that we've had a second weekend to evaluate it, I can say racing in general looks very cool this season. Not too chaotic so far and a bit removed from the peloton style racing of seasons gone by. In 2025 it appears to be all about the four-wheel drive attack mode to actually create great racing opportunities, and it is really fun to watch so far. There are some series that do not need gimmicks to create great racing opportunities though. So let's go straight to a quick weekly karting report. I've said I was going to watch more US karting this year, and what better way to start than with the SKUSA Winter Series. To keep it a brief karting report, I have reduced it to the most interesting 4 classes competing. In the mini category, it was all about Zane Burgess, recently signed as a Cadillac junior driver for the F1 team. Maybe a bit too early for an F1 team, but his talent is undeniable. Zane narrowly missed the win in race 1 and got shuffled to P8 in race 2 after a scuffle with Royce Vega. His debut in this class was very promising. It's probably only a matter of time before he dominates again. A quick shout out to Liam Nachawati, who stormed from P18 to win the second race, showcasing the depth of talent in this class. X30 Junior was arguably the most exciting category to watch, with plenty of storylines playing out across the grid. Williams junior driver Lucas Palacio had a stellar weekend, finishing with a hard-fought P2 on track on Sunday before inheriting his maiden win after a penalty for Toniolo. British racer Kit Belofsky, a personal favourite of mine and certified wet weather god, showed strong pace but was a bit too eager at times, costing him big results. A new discovery for me in this class was female talent Fion Shi, currently in her second year in the juniors. She had 2 strong races here, peaking with a podium on Sunday, so definitely one to watch if you are interested in the female side of racing. And last but not least, Tristan Murphy also deserves a shout out for winning the first race despite struggling a bit in race 2, once again really just underlying the depth of the category. In the X30 seniors, it was all about European superstar Joe Turney versus American ace Ryan Norberg, with Joe Turney just about winning both races after some excellent wheel-to-wheel action. JHDD's new karting outfit versus US powerhouse RPG, Europe versus NA, Kart Republic versus OTK, all the good stuff, so this one really delivered in terms of epic storylines and on-track entertainment. The Pro Shifter class unfortunately was a lot less dramatic. While it promised a showdown between Mateusz Morgato and Danny Formal, the battle never really materialized. Formal was simply too dominant, winning both races with relative ease, especially the first one. Hopefully we'll see a little more competition in the next round. That was already it from karting, but of course we will continue the tradition we started late last season with a new segment to finish us off, so let's go. We missed a few announcements over the break, but rather than recapping them all, I'll focus on a recent one that really deserves our attention. Alpine's latest driver shenanigans, signing both Franco Colapinto and Ryo Hirakawa as reserve drivers next to the already recently signed Paul Aron, could spell an early end for Jack Doohan's F1 stint, and honestly I am as close to outraged as I can be about these kind of things. I can understand changes in management, changing the driver philosophy, but why make a point to piss all over your current academy program? I'll never understand that. Neither Colapinto nor Aron are outstanding enough to make this a good call in my opinion. He deserves a fair shot, not constant pressure. In other news, we finally have the full entry list for both the Formula Regional and the Formula 4 Middle East. And since I won't have time for a full prediction video this time around, I'll drop a couple quick predictions in here. In the Formula Regionals, I can't help but back Freddie Slater for both the rookie and the overall title. I firmly believe he is the biggest talent on the F1 ladder now that Kimi Antonelli has graduated. Outside of the Mamba Falcons / Prema operation, both RSGP and ART have brought really interesting strong lineups. Evan Gilter should be the man to beat at ART, but RSGP really can go either way. Personally, I am most interested to see how Jin Nakamura will do against his new European opposition. For Formula 4, the entry list is almost a little disappointing outside of the big Prema squad. Keen Nakamura Berta is my favourite for the title, although I am hoping for a classic season-long fight with Alex Powell for old time's sake, while secretly rooting for my personal favourite Thomas Stoltzemanus along the way. The rookie title could be super interesting between Alexander Bondarev and Salim Hana, but I do think the Ukrainian Williams Jr. will take it in the end. That's a wrap for this week. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts, so jump into the comments with your opinions. My driver of the week is Zack Scoular for his outstanding Formula Regional debut. As always, I thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and do all the usual YouTube things, and I do hope to catch you in the next episode.